Hello everybody, my name is Limbaler Jr. and I am here with Mr. Mikayli. Am I saying it properly?
Mikayli.
Mikayli.
Yep.
Sorry, not Makai, Mikayli.
Yeah.
And I have to say, this is an artist who I had my eyes on for quite some time. You can kind of thank, some of the other friends out there like Simba, who's also supporting the YOOKiE show. You can also give some love to Dice Man for also hooking me up with you as well. But here's the thing. Get out of here, you freaking spider! That's not really the name you chose right off the bat. You came off with another name, am I correct? In 2019 and 2020. What was that name again?
It was Krxnik. It was Krxnik.
It's pronounced Krxnik. Yeah. I see.
Yeah, no one really knew how to pronounce it.
Well, I'll admit though, the spelling was kind of cool.
Thank you.
So, and that's what kind of made you stood out. But in those 2 years, well, first off, let me ask this. How long have you been producing for?
Since 2016, so 8 years now.
So 8 years. Mm-hmm. So 2016 was kind of the start of Krxnik?
Kinda. It was like a year and a half went by. I was learning how to make music. I was always DJing, always like mixing dubstep. And then about 2 years, I kind of made songs that I thought I could put out. So I just like made a SoundCloud. And actually, the first name was Joker. It was
Joker.
JXKR, but obviously there's the goated Joker. So once I caught on to that, I had to change my name right away.
Right, because there was no way you could try and match someone like him, really.
Exactly.
Not to mention he recently did a collaboration with Skrillex, so
yeah, he's the GOAT. He's one of the best and
one
of my favorites.
Keep on dreaming. I bet I know Sonny Moore is definitely gonna notice your presence very soon.
Thank you. Yeah, but then we went to Krxnik and now we're at Mikayli.
So when you were in Krxnik, I mean, you did find a bit of success. I mean, for example, you were featured as a guest mix, I believe, for Lizzie Jane when she was starting her XO podcast number 40. I can't find that mix at all. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Really?
I don't know if you deleted it or something. So I was like, dang, I really want to hear what she had to say about you, but it's fine. But within those a couple of years, you did find a bit of success here and there. You were working with Dirty Snatcha with his record company. You were also working with other collectors here and there. I think maybe it was Krxnik or no, I think it was Mikayli. Mikayli,
Yeah,
I'm saying right. Mikayli, where you also introduced to Electric Hawk as well. I guess that was also during Mikayli, but I think maybe Krxnik. I'm not particularly sure. I just know a few people here and there saw your presence, knows your presence, gave you a chance, and you just ran with it. Now, with us being here at Mikayli, what made you change?
Good question. It was kind of a new sound for me that I was learning to find, and I was always making the heavier kind of rhythm bass music.
I see.
And it just didn't really resonate with me anymore. And then right before COVID happened, I went and saw Charles I, and to be honest, I had no idea who Charles was. I had no idea who Of the Trees was kind of lost in that deep, the heavy bass music. So
was this like a headline show, or was this like a lab group type of?
It was at Webster Hall, and Charles played with Lab Group. And it was Charles, Lab Group, Dice Man opened. I'm pretty sure Simba was on the lineup. And I remember seeing that show front to back, and I was like, I'm in the wrong genre. And I just went home, and I don't think I ever made heavy bass music again. It was always something struck with the chords and the emotions that came out of their music, and I just always kind of tried to learn and seek how to, put out my emotions like that, because the heavier stuff was not who I was anymore.
So define what you mean by heavier bass, because some people may think, okay, he's talking about dubstep. Is he talking about
excision, rhythm, subsonic style? That's the kind of stuff that I was aiming towards. And then
at the time,
at that time, and then the shift of focus happened.
So we went from a heavy bass in that type of way, like I said, this is subtronics, that rhythm type thing, to more of the Charles I sound, of the Tree sound. I see it more as kind of almost entering into how I explain the sound, like Liquid Stranger, Wakan, that type of sound, because it seems like it's
Wakan, but more 1985. Who else? Jadu Dalla. Kind of more world-based music, but still mixed with sound design and
Understood.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
I like what Wakanda's doing. They're cool, but it's not really up my alley as much. They're still, they're definitely on like the heavier, just Liquid Stranger sound. I don't really define as my sound, I'd say.
Understood. I thought maybe that was like where the inspiration also kind of came as well.
It did at first, I will say, heavily. At first. Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much, Charles the First, wherever you are. We really appreciate you for, like,
Charlie, we love
kicking off, like, the sound that led you to on your path right now. You, Dice Man, the Lab Group, everyone who was there at Webster Hall that night. Mm-hmm. I know it was definitely a legendary night. I wish I could have.
Energy was high.
Definitely. And ever since then, you kind of just like took that and like ran with it with Mikayli, with you being in certain places here and there. I feel like big things I can mention right off the bat is you being at Denver at the Black Box with Tisimba. Mm-hmm. You were there at Elements, I think, 2-3 times?
Yeah, 3 times.
3 times so far. And now, recently, like I see, you are also part of a collective called DubDay NYC, which also has like people like Tisimba and, of course, Dice Man. So I'm just curious to know, with these type of people in this collective, are those people are you also inspired by these type of people as well? Because it seems like you guys are really a tight-knit group. Mm-hmm. Like, wherever you go, if you're going to do something that's DubDay related, you must have Dice Man, you must have people like Tisimba, or maybe Rafiki, or Resonant Bass, you never know. So what is about DubDay NYC that's like means so much to you?
Oh man, that's the crew. Shout out DubDay. I owe a lot to Wade. Dude ran the NYC scene and he's still running shit, but he really put on a lot of the underground back then. The last 6 years, some of my only bookings out of New York came from DubDay, from Wade. And as the years grew on, we grew really close. One of my brothers, my best friend. And he's a huge inspiration. Just watching him put his heart and soul into it, dumping all his money, time, blood, sweat, and tears into this shit. Mm-hmm. It inspired me to, just do a little bit more, because, we can all just make music and put it out, but it's really about building that culture and the community that, Wade did with DubDay that I think is so special and important. And, I love Wade, Dice Man, Simba, Crook, shout out all the homies in Brooklyn, Austin Trout, Sermon, Mike Ortiz, Trip Street, these are all some of my close friends. And watching us all do this together and now hitting a point where things are really popping off, I'm grateful and really happy to see where it all started with DubDay and how far we all came.
That is amazing to hear. And with you working in DubDay, doing these type of shows, heck, I think some of the shows even sponsored, or you see the logo of DubDay on certain shows here and there. I'm curious to know, with all the shows you've done so far, are there any that really stick out to you? Because you opened for some pretty big names. I'll obviously mention Elements. I remember one event was you're opening for Lenny. Another one, I see once or twice, you opened for Essex, who was also pretty legendary. Yeah. And of course, someone as incredible as freaking E-Prom, or heck, Mytham, or maybe Yeheti. What show, yeah. any show or event that really stuck out to you and made you feel like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, this is incredible, I'm really doing something with my career.
Damn, you really brought it back to that Essex show. That was before we were even friends. Now we're pretty close. We have a couple songs together, but shout out Sam. Man, the Killsmith show at Ogden might have been one of my favorite shows. That the production, the sound, he had 16 battle axes in the Ogden. I think it's one of the biggest sound deployments they've had there, if not tied with. That show stuck out. The ground was rattling. Elements in the rain. Last year it was pouring and everyone came into the forest for my set. I must have had 1,000 people just
in the tent?
No, so it started pouring and they shut down all the stages, but there was the Wub stage in the forest, and it was covered by trees, so everyone just ran into the trees to seek shelter.
Wow.
And they found me playing on the system in there that was ran by the Drop, and it was crazy. I just turned around, I saw nobody in the festival, and then I looked in front and it looked like everyone poured into the forest, and it was just pouring. The music was blasting, everyone's dancing in the mud. The energy was insane. It was tribal, it was feral, it was amazing.
So we gotta give a shout out to the rain for them noticing the power of Mikayli.
I was so afraid. I was no man, I really think that it's about to get shut down. And like it was about to be one of my favorite sets I already knew, and then when it happened and it rained, they didn't shut it down. Top 3 sets I've played.
That is amazing. Again, shout out to Mother Nature for really helping Mikayli out right there. And
can be our best friend sometimes. And
so with Elements, I feel like Elements is like a very like strong connection with you. I mentioned that a few times here and there, like, and it seems like that means so much. So the festival means so much to you. What is it about that festival in particular that like really stuck out to you, like that made you keep coming back for more?
They just know what they're doing, and they're always building a better. The Elements crew is always building a better festival. Like every year, you find something new. They make it more accessible. Every festival has their hiccups, but it's all about how you build and figure out what went wrong the last year. And Elements.
You mean how you bounce back?
Yeah, bouncing back. Elements does it really well. And damn, the last year I had playing there was probably one of my favorite festivals. It felt like Forest on the East Coast, and it's really hard to find anything like that.
You're comparing that with Electric Forest.
In a much smaller scale, but yes. Because of the art and the way the art incorporates into the festival, I feel like a lot of festivals don't put as much focus on the actual visual artists there, and just the art that, you know, they're building tree houses in the trees. They're building little, like, intricate interactive pieces of art that you can play with, and it's just cool to be there and like watch one place it's just a racetrack, but they turned it into this beautiful festival. It sounds like a crazy comparison, but I think if you give Elements 5 years, they'll probably be something like Forest.
Really? So speaking of which, any of the festivals that you hear of and going to, would you accept an offer from Electric Forest if they said we want you on our lineup?
That's goals. That's definitely
that's still a goal.
That's one of the festivals that changed my life.
When you went there,
2014.
In 2014.
Yeah, I wasn't even making music yet.
But that really stuck out to you, made you want to start making music. Being Joker, that didn't work. Being Krxnik, that didn't work. And then Mikayli. Yep. But what was it? If you can remember, I'm sorry to kind of throw it back, but Electric Forest 2014. Were there any artists that really stuck out to you and you really loved seeing them live for the first time?
Just thinking back then, I don't remember any crazy artists I really saw. I just remember being in the Jubilee tent, just listening to the music in there and just being like, this is really different. So the true star is really the experience of Electric Forest. Exactly, yeah. And I always say it doesn't matter what the lineup is at Forest, I will just go there and frolic around. You know, it's just something that the music is beautiful, it's awesome there, but wow, the way that they craft the experience, there's always something you could do. One time I was fumbling around in the forest by myself because my friends were doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. And I found my way into a cathedral and people were getting married in the middle of the forest, and then clowns came out and danced after they got married, and somehow a DJ booth came out and everyone started dancing, and I was like, where am I?
So there was a cathedral in
the middle of the forest.
In the middle of the forest of that year. Then after they got married, then clowns came in.
Yes.
And then after the clowns, I'm gonna say I thought you talking about like a DJ, like a CJ rose from
They basically did. They rolled it from the back.
I'm thinking it was it rose and it's there was the DJ booth and the artist comes in and they start playing.
I'm sure with the money they have now, it probably is like that. 10 years ago seeing this, my mind was blown.
And that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, my mind was
10 years
blown.
later, I can see Electric Forest now and look at what they're bringing in with their lineups and that sort of thing. That is amazing to hear.
Yeah.
I feel like
then I walked out and I turned around and I was like, oh wait, that was the church I was just in.
But you're still in Electric Forest. Yeah,
you're in the dead center of the actual forest too. They clearly crafted this out of wood probably 3 weeks before.
Wow.
And they're amazing at what they do, the craftsmanship that goes into that festival.
And ever since then, you were I have to find a way to play here.
Yeah. I was there with Mike Trip Street in 2018, and he wasn't even Trip Street yet. And it's crazy, he's playing this year, and we're all going out together. We're going to celebrate. I'm so happy for him.
That's amazing.
But that's what, watching those dreams come true, it's beautiful. So that's a goal.
Wow. And speaking of that particular goal, being in the Electric Forest lineup, are there any other shows you wish you could play in, or any future collaborations you wish you could be a part of?
Oh yeah. Shambhala's way up there. That's definitely a festival I look at every year and I just want to go. Playing would be absolutely absurd. Collabs, man, there's so many people. Right now I got some collabs with Krxnik and Essex too. Those are some of my favorites.
Krxnik and Nexus.
Essex, yeah.
Essex. We're talking like the Krxnik who just opened for Easy Baked. Krxnik.
Yeah, we got a couple tracks together. Me and Essex have some music together. Those, honestly, it's crazy when working with them. It's beautiful to see bouncing ideas back and forth. Of the Trees, that's like one of my top collabs. I think we'd work crazy together. Yeah, the list goes on, but really, I'm just really happy with the friends I'm working with, Dice Man, Simba, and obviously I'm always open to working with more people. It's great working with people and watching ideas collaborate and figuring out like where your brain can go next.
That is amazing to hear, and I feel like those.
But of the Trees, yeah, top. To answer your question,
I just feel like hearing what you said. I feel like those names, those people who already know you, it's definitely gonna happen. I feel like especially with someone like Essex who has built so much over the past over 10 years, like him doing his work, doing his music, makes so many incredible albums. Something tells me Of the Trees is gonna know who Mikayli is, and I can hardly wait to see you be a part of that lineup with Of the Trees or collaborating with him. I can already like envision it right now.
Thanks,
so,
man.
Mikayli, I know that there's gonna be so much coming your way, especially for this year, and for you. I mean, hello, you're already opening for freaking YOOKiE and with your friend Simba, and so
it's gonna be fun tonight.
I'm curious to know, were you kind of shocked that someone like YOOKiE, people who are these two pretty big legends so far in their career, bringing someone like you and Simba, your friend, to open for them?
It's definitely an honor, and I'm very blessed to know these people. Like YOOKiE's, we've been friends for some years now. We really got close 2 years ago. We played New Year's Eve together. We just wound up hanging out after the show, and we've been pretty close ever since. They're New York also. They're like Long Island based. And then Simba, obviously, with DubDay crew, it's like we're all kind of connected. So it's blessed to live in this city and connect with all the artists out here. And
that is absolutely
very,
awesome.
very happy shout out Anthony and Chris for putting us on. Legends.
That's amazing. And I feel like if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I mentioned I think in the silo it's gonna be a 360 set.
Yeah.
I don't know if every single artist that's gonna be on there will be 360, but have you ever played a 360 set before?
Yeah, a couple. I just did Mikayli and Friends in Brooklyn, and we had it set up 360. I played, the first one I ever did was Elements. They put it a 4-point system in the middle of the festival, right when you walked in, and that was the first 360 setup I played, and I've just always wanted to run that kind of setup since.
Is there any difference to you're getting, obviously seems to get more used to 360 sets, but is there a difference or a type of atmosphere when it comes looking all around you, seeing all the people around you, and then difference between playing a set where it's you have your CDJs, you have your equipment, and you're just focused in front of the people? Because it seems like each and every situation I see, every show I see, everyone explains it differently. People prefer, I wish it was in a warehouse where it's no, it's more intimate. You're seeing the people, you have to know the people, then playing in a sea of people in a stadium or in a large area, and then 360, they're all around you, and it's everywhere I go, everywhere I turn, there's people.
It can be overwhelming. Yeah. There's definitely a bit of a difference. I personally love that energy. I feel it's like gasoline to the fire. It's just, it invigorates me. If I had a choice, I'd definitely choose 360 sets. But it's dope to be on the stage and have the full production behind you too. I'm always for the dark, intimate rooms, people close. So I like to feel the energy of the family around me, and I think it all plays into an effect. I think it's a little bit more hype, if I'm honest.
Definitely. So hopefully, I don't know if there's a Mikayli tour happening. If it ever does happen, will a lot of the venues be more focused on just being intimate, being small, and just being compact?
I would say so, especially now where I'm at right now. Just, I appreciate the smaller rooms. I like the energy that it provides when everyone's close and it's like a little darker. People dance more, I feel like. But yeah, I'd say the first tour would probably be some small, intimate, maybe some 360 sets, you know.
So you wouldn't appreciate Red Rocks, would you?
Oh, I would love to play it. Yeah. Is that a trick question?
It was kind of a trick question because, like, everyone talks about Warehouse so much. It's like, well, I guess we can cross out Webster Hall, we can cross out Red Rocks, we can cross out the Hollywood Palladium.
It'd be great to play there as well. And, you know, it's all different experiences. I think I'd craft my sets differently for each one, too. You know, I feel like the darker sets are a little bit more energy club based, and like the bigger sets are a little bit more production based, and might have some moments of just like melodies and just like chill downtime.
Understood. But, yeah. And so sorry for like making a little trap there. my apologies.
No, it's not a trap.
It's just that I'm very curious, like, you know, to hear these type of things when it comes to artists, like, you know, where their comfort zone is, not just with their music, but also where they like to play. Some people like to play like in their streams. Some people like to play, like, you know, in front of a couple of people. Some people like to play, like, you know, in the stadium. They like to reach that type of level. But to hear, like, you know, someone like you being so versatile with all different types of places, some, like, you know, preferably more than others, but it seems like the versatility of your atmosphere, what you bring to the table, what you give to the people musically, it's absolutely amazing to see. And I'm so happy people like, you know, Charles I, Lab Group, all these people that, like, you know, has, like, you know, inspired you to get to where you are now is absolutely incredible to see. And you're being noticed by legends such as YOOKiE. I feel like something tells me the world is definitely going to know and understand the power, the beauty, the prowess that is Mikayli. So, already with your few EPs here and there, it seems like we're getting EP every single year. 2021, we got one. 2022, we got one. 2023, we got one. Why was it 2 tracks? I don't know why. But now we have this EP. What is this EP called again?
This is the Hypnotic EP.
Hypnotic EP. And so I'm wondering, the next year, will there be, I don't know, Mikayli album? This leads more to my question, like, no, what's next for Mikayli? Hopefully an album. I would love to see that in 2025.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting on like 100 plus finished songs right now.
100 plus.
Probably like 70 to 100 finished songs. It's just, I make so much music every week, and just like lately it's just been flowing nonstop. So I feel like I'm waiting to do an album when the people are ready to hear it. I feel like it's really, like, even doing this 5-track EP, it's really hard to get people to listen to 5 tracks in a row, like dropping music. And then it's just like the way the algorithm, and you're like fighting social media, it's really hard to drop a large body. So this EP I just did was like a test to see if I can like start to craft an album, or like what I should do, because I want all the songs that I release, I feel I want them to, you know, be digested, and a lot of time goes into them.
Right.
And the ones that I do release, they're definitely like picked for a reason. So I'd say once I feel like there's like true engagement and following, it's like nonstop, I'll like throw out like a 13-track album, 12-track album. But it's nice to just like put out like 2, 3, 4 tracks at a time. And from there, it's like easier to gauge how it's gonna do and like where I should go next. Mm-hmm. You know, but an album can happen whenever I feel like the fan base is ready.
When the fan base is ready. So it seems like with the Hypnotic EP, are you trying to tell, like, you know, maybe more of a story, or like, you know, more of like the sound that you're trying to build now? Because it seems like you lean a lot more towards just like, you know, the showcase mixes, like, you know, show people, like, you know, what I've done, what I've made so far, and what is to come. But it seems like with this EP, even though it's 5 tracks, every single one of them absolutely freaking incredible.
Thank you.
Feel like there's something that's like building in Mikayli's mind, something that's like, no, he's trying to tell something to us in his sound through his music. So I'm very curious to know, like, to like maybe discover it, figure it out, and don't tell us too much of it. I don't want you to spoil anything, but something tells me there's a message that's being told. I don't know if it's like, you know, just showcasing what you got. I don't know if it's like, you know, trying to pay homage to where you are right now in NYC, since we see the merch, we see like these type of envisions where it's like, no, I see the map, I see the subway, I see the Brooklyn Bridge. So it's like, maybe it's like, no, this music I'm making was all made in New York, and that's what inspired me New York City, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. I don't know, but
that part.
Anyway, but anyway, it seems like there's something being told. I'm just speaking. Sorry, I'm just kind of like rambling a bit because I just want to know what's going on. Don't answer it.
No,
that's up to
fair
us
question.
to figure out.
It's definitely all plays into my lifestyle. You know, New York raised me, and it all goes into my music, my experiences, the music you hear in the clubs here. It all is major influence on me. So I want to put it on my shirts. I want to put it throughout like my artwork and kind of tell my story through that as well. And then, you know, the videos that slide with it, you know, all is kind of going back to New York. But the music itself that I'm releasing, I don't want people to put me in a box because I do make everything. It matters like what day I'm having. I might make drum and bass because like this day is a little bit uppity, and you know, I might make some really dark 140 because like I had a shit day, and you know, I can't force myself to write something. It kind of just comes to me. Right. So like the 140 EP is something that I wound up doing in like 4 or 5 weeks, the Hypnotic EP. And it just all flowed. It was like the state that I was in. It was just like made sense. And then when I listened to it, I was like, well, these 5 tracks turned into an EP without me even trying. So it kind of created, I just noticed, I was like, damn, I kind of wrote a story through this. And it was just like, all right, let's go around New York City now. Cause like I was just in New York that whole month, and I just started taking my bike around with me, taking pictures, and tried to make all the content from the New York City.
Understood.
The bridge, and you know, yeah.
I can take it or leave it. I feel like I can already, I kind of have an idea for what like the album could possibly be. Maybe it's like obviously it's like, no, this is like a 5-track thing. Maybe it could be a 7-track EP, test the waters. It could be like, a week in the mind of Mikayli, where like each day, where are you feeling, what are you thinking, and you incorporate that through music. Where it's like, okay, and you just like label each song, and it's up to our interpretation. Just like label each one like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and like that type of thing. So that way we kind of like know if each day can be different. We don't know what's gonna go on or what's gonna happen each day in the future or in the past, that type of thing. So to hear from you and your perspective,
I might take you up on that.
Hey, at least we got recorded. We got record. So it's like, hey, I'd be more than happy to like take a bit of credit for it.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like maybe. Okay, not maybe kind of pushing it now. The eighth track, even though obviously there's not like 8 days in the week, there's 7. But I feel like the 8th day, there is one message I always think of when it comes like days of the week and like the past, present, or future. Maybe you heard this quote before. I love this quote to death because it's so incredible. It's so true. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. Yeah. I feel like if you could maybe sample that, because I got it from Kung Fu Panda, Master Oogway, use that as like maybe
that quote.
Use that as kind of a sample for like the 8th day. Like they'll talk about this is what was going on throughout my week, but this is what I believe when it comes to each day, when it passes or when it goes away, when the 24 hours are up, that type of thing.
Yeah, you gotta send it to me. If it happens, I'll
send you the clip of that. I feel like that because that keeps getting like replay over and over in my mind. It's like
today it's called the present. It's a gift.
Today is a gift. That's why we call it the present, because it's a present to you. That type of thing, and it's so freaking true to me. So again, that's an idea. Take it or leave it. If you take it, please credit me a bit. I really would appreciate it.
We got it on video, so y'all know. Everyone heard this. So if you ever see a weekly EP or something from me, a 7 or 8 track EP.
Yeah,
you know where it came from, right here.
Yep.
Manifested.
So yeah, Mikayli, thank you so much. I can hardly see what the future holds for someone incredible as you. Well, let's focus on tonight, which is you opening for YOOKiE and Simba. Give my love to Simba as well. All the work he's done for DubDay, all the work he's done for you, for Dice Man, everyone else in the crew. Know that I really do appreciate all the work you've done so far, and everyone else around you who's inspired, who like sparked the flame, brought it up to you, and just like lets you shine. And that's something that I love to do, obviously, with this, which is letting people like you shine, because I feel like something tells me you could be next. I'm not trying to scare you or scare the people, but people like Charles I, not going to be here forever, their music. Well, their music will live on, but the presence will not be here. Of the Trees, again, they're absolutely killing it with their music, killing it with their label, but they're not going to be here forever. Who's going to be next? I might be looking at the next of the Trees right here.
Well, thank you. That's a major compliment. I really appreciate that.
Who knows? I might be looking at a headliner for Electric Forest. Forget these Earth, Wind, and Fire. Forget like these type of people. I want to see Mikayli be on the main stage. Hey, it could happen, and I feel like something tells me it's gonna happen.
Oh man, I appreciate you.
No, appreciate you so much for all you do. Appreciate you guys for listening too.
Thank you guys.
And thank you guys. And just again, remember the name Mikayli. YOOKiE, remember the name. Keep bringing him onto your lineups. I think you're not going to regret it. This is Limblord Jr. Mikayli signing out. Love you guys so much. Peace.